This is the Urban Debate on Magicbricks Now. Thank you so much for tuning in. This Maharashtra state government presented its budget 2017-18 in the State Assembly, and the state's finance minister made very, very clear that the government is serious about farmers. Now, we must point out that it was quite a rare instance for a state budget to be presented amongst so much noise that was being created outside of the assembly. Members of the opposition party, and I'm not exaggerating, viewers showed up holding carrots in their hands, saying that the government was trying to give the farmers of Maharashtra carrots instead of actually solving their problems. But of course, the focus was farm distress. Remember, the Maharashtra state has seen worst possible numbers in farmer suicides over the last couple of years, and there was a tremendous demand from opposition and from allies like the Shiv Sena that the government move immediately to waive off farm loans. That, though, wasn't done. The finance minister said that the government is committed to waiving loans sometime in the future, but in the meantime, he said the farmers should repay their loans. The BJP Sena combined third budget also focused on building infrastructure, industry in the villages and in the cities. It also made allocations to policing in cities. Amita, who was at the assembly, sent us this list of checkboxes that the government checked today.
Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, tell us this, at this point in time, a lot of criticism has come from the opposition on the farm loan waiver. You've of course said that...
उन्होंने बजट कब सुना? वो जब टीका कर रहे हैं, वो तो बजट सुनने के मूड में भी नहीं थे. जब बजट ही सुना नहीं, उनको बजट का कुछ पता नहीं, तो वो बजट पे टीका कैसे कर सकते हैं? उनको टीका करने का अधिकार भी नहीं है.
नहीं, आपने वेरी कैटेगोरिकली बोला है कि आप रीपे करो फार्मर्स को और आप स्कीम लेके आएंगे. वो उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताएं.
हमने ऐसा कहा है कि जो किसान कर्ज मुक्ति के बारे में जिन्होंने कर्ज मुक्ति मांगी है, उनके साथ में ऐसे भी कुछ किसान हैं कि जो पैसा भरते हैं बैंकों में. अगर मैं अभी कर्ज मुक्ति के बारे में कुछ संदिग्धता रहेगी तो वो पैसा नहीं भरेंगे, उससे एक सिस्टम में अड़चन निर्माण हो सकती है. तो उनको हमने कहा कि आप जो कर्ज परतफेड़ करते हो, यानी वापस करते हो, तो वो वापस करिए. आपके लिए भी जब कर्ज मुक्ति की योजना आएगी उस समय आपके लिए भी नई योजना आएगी. आपका नुकसान नहीं होने देंगे.
इस समय अच्छा ये चीज़ है कि बहुत सारे फोकस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और सिक्योरिटी के ऊपर हुआ है. तो सिक्योरिटी पुलिस पर्सनल के लिए आपने बहुत सारी ये लेके आए हैं.
नहीं, सही बात है ना कि समाज में कानून और सुव्यवस्था रखने के लिए पुलिस वाले 24 घंटा काम करते हैं. जब हम दीपावली मनाते हैं, फटाके फोड़ते हैं, हम खुशियां मनाते हैं, तब हमारी सुरक्षा के लिए पुलिस कर्मी काम करते हैं. और इसी दृष्टिकोण से हमने निर्णय किया कि पुलिसकर्मी काम करते हैं, उनको जितनी मदद हम कर सकते हैं. मर्यादित संसाधन है, मगर उस मर्यादित संसाधन में भी जो मदद हम पुलिस विभाग को कर सकते हैं वो हम करें.
सर एक क्रिटिसिज्म एक ही चीज सर एक क्रिटिसिज्म सर एक क्रिटिसिज्म ये है कि लास्ट टाइम स्पेंडिंग जो था वो कम था टोटल एलोकेशन से. वो आप
आंकड़े गा रहे हैं, दिसंबर के आंकड़े बता रहे हैं. मुझे लगता है कि वो गलत है. अभी 31 मार्च तक वो पैसा जो है वो पहुंच जाएगा जो हम चाहते हैं.
So from the point of view of this channel and the issues that we focus on, here are the things that we are happy about. We're happy about the fact that the Maharashtra government put in an allocation, like they had promised us they would, into police reforms to improve the conditions under which the police officers and the constables in our city live and work. They put in a special allocation again for CCTV cameras, and we understand, as we've witnessed on this channel, how important CCTV cameras are to women's safety in our cities. They've put a lot of effort into the smart cities. They've put some thought into metro rail, water resources, 55,000 homes for SC and ST citizens. And of course, the other interesting thing which we've seen is a lot of focus on the environment. There's been an allocation made to cleaning up rivers. There's been an allocation made to planting trees. And very interestingly, I think for perhaps the first time in a state budget, mention of the fact that we need to find a way to coexist with forests within the state of Maharashtra. Some of them almost inside of Mumbai, and we've had problems there as well. Also, an allocation being made to improve tourism and the numbers of tigers that we have in some of the tiger reserve areas within the state of Maharashtra. But the bone of contention this afternoon and over the next few days is going to be the farmers. There's a huge problem in Maharashtra as far as the farmers are concerned. The farmers are killing themselves, and we haven't seen much being done on the ground. Why hasn't there been more attention paid to the farmers right now? And did the statement being made by the Finance Minister of Maharashtra actually just carrots? That's what we're going to find out this evening. Joining me on the show, Clyde Crasto, spokesperson of the NCP, Aarti Sathe, spokesperson of the BJP, Charan Singh Sapra from the Congress Party. We also have Ravi Duggal, health activist, Rajiv Mishra, RTI activist, and Sudhir Suryavanshi, political analyst who works with the DNA. I want to welcome all of you to this show. Sudhir, I'm going to start off with you because let's start with the independent voices here before we bring in the politics. There is a problem with the farmers, and the article that you just released, in the DNA talked about the fact that the disbursement from private money lenders has gone up 40%. We should be post-demonetization looking at a number going in the opposite direction. Why has it gone up 40%? What is wrong?
Generally, if somebody wants a loan, like suppose the farmer, they want a loan. First of all, the farmer generally goes to the bank to get the loan. But what happens, the banks are not giving the loan because they are already defaulter. So banks are not giving them to the loans. So naturally, they have no option but to go to the private money lender. If the private money lender, lends some money, it has been lent with a higher interest rate, not like a banks. It has been lent with a higher interest rate.
And a completely one-sided contract.
One-sided cut. And importantly, he also, as a security, take land from the farmer as a mortgage. So both way, farmer has been trapped. So now, therefore, this year, 40% more disbursement happened from the private money lender than the banks. We have to see the figure how much banks has disbursed the loan. So actually, government has to work in favor for the pro-farmer. Therefore, they have to pressurize the bank and give ask the bank to disburse the loan to the farmer in large number than not to release any sort of the money for the farmer. And because of this trap, more farmers will commit suicide in the future.
You're saying will commit suicide in the future?
Definitely.
The numbers are already shocking.
Because in the last 3 years, almost 9,000 farmers has been committed suicide. Actually, despite government is saying they are doing sustainable development, they are putting more money in the agriculture sector as an investment. But what is happening? In the beginning, that check dams were very famous. It was a pet project of the chief minister.
You don't believe that all of the mentions of agriculture in this budget are going to help the farmers? The fact that they've talked about support to agriculture, support to pricing, support to various other things that farmers can avail of, you don't believe that will help?
I just want to remind that when the Lok Sabha election was happening, that time our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during his campaign, has said that he will ensure good prices to the crops. The basic price plus 50% profit. What happened with that statement? Nothing has happened. You will surprise many farmers. First time they have burned their crops, they have burned the onions, they burn the sugar canes. If they are burning, why they are burning? They are not mad. They are not mad to burn their own.
Okay, it's Clyde, I'm going to bring you in here. There is, of course, a mention in this budget about targeting double farm output by 2021. Again, this is an ambitious but a very clear target. And it always helps to have a government who sets out a target saying that this is by 2021, we're going to have double farm output across the state.
This year also there is bumper crops. I'm not saying there is a not good crop this year. This year also a good crop. But where is the rate? Where is the rate? The farmers are not getting good rate, therefore they are burning. Nobody is complaining they have got less crops or less production this year. They got a bumper crop, good. There was good supply of the onion. Where are the prices? If they are not getting the prices, what is the use of increasing your output also?
Is this a carrot your party has been talking about?
It has to be taken in the market.
There are a few things I'd like to highlight here. To start with, a statement by the head of the state. When he says that, when the opposition say that we want, farmers' loans waived. When the head of the state says that, okay, we will loan, whatever the loans are, we'll waive it off. If you promise us there'll be no more suicides. So the question here is, will the CM promise that there will be no hailstorms, there will be no unseasonal rain, there will be no drought, there will be no floods? Can he promise us that? I mean, you cannot pass an insensitive statement like this.
No, but no CM can promise you that. No CM can promise you that there will be no floods.
That's the point, Faye. How can you question that, will you promise us that there will be no suicides? The point here is you have to be sensitive towards the farmers. You have to, like Sudhir explained to us the whole thing, that how the whole loan aspect is, pushing the farmers to commit suicide. So the point here is, they haven't thought about the farmers well. All they've spoken about is, if you look at it, last year's budget, only 15% of the budget has been used, what was allocated last year. This year also they have made, huge provisions, big provisions. But we need to look at that. One more thing, have they spoken about the minimum support price in this budget? No. Have they spoken about the FRP, the fair and remunerative price? No. So the point here is the important issues have not been spoken about in the budget.
Let me just bring in Ravi Duggal, and I know you have a comment to make, Mr. Duggal, about what we're talking about in terms of the farmers, but also public health. Public health in the state of Maharashtra received an allocation of 10,472 crore rupees last year. This year, the only mention of public health is for cancer treatment. So 253 centers being set up for cancer treatment. Has public health been bypassed, Mr. Duggal?
Yeah, first coming to the issue of farmers, I think what is there in the budget speech and what is there in the actual budget document, there's a dissonance in that.
Okay.
It's very clear that last year, for example, agriculture and allied services got 12,575 crores, and this year actually it's 11,990 crores, 5% less.
A 5% drop,
the speak in the budget, what the finance minister is telling us in the assembly and what is actually there in the budget document, there's a clear disconnect. So I'm not sure of the intent of the finance minister in terms of really allocating. And as was said earlier, what they allocate also, there's a lot of underspending that happens. Coming to health, I think where public health is concerned, again, there's a drop in the allocation. Last year it was, the revised estimate was 11,795 crores. And it is now down to 11,149 crores. So
right.
A minus 5% again.
A minus 5%.
So there's actually a fall in the thing. If you look at the overall fiscal envelope of the state, there's been an increase of 10% in the projected spending. Now they claim that the economy has grown in real terms in 9.5%, which means about 15% nominal terms. So at least if they should have at least gotten another 15% in terms of resources in the overall fiscal envelope, which has also not happened. So which means we are actually bringing in only 10% of the state's income.
So do you believe, Mr. Duggal, do you believe that basically what this government is doing, and they've had problems with debt in the past as far as the Maharashtra budget is concerned, they're moving money around and trying to arrive at some sort of fiscal discipline by cutting spendings on things that are important?
In terms of debt, there's another hidden story. I think if you look at last year's finance ministry's allocations for repayment of loans, it was something like 25,000 crores, or they only spent 1% of that. So that 25,000 crores could actually have gone to health and education and other welfare programs. They allocate that and they don't spend it. So this is expenditure as on 15th March of this year. This is from the Treasury data. Okay, it's government's own data, which shows only 1% spending for loan repayment, and a huge amount of 25,000 odd crores was there. This year they've allocated 31,000 crores for interest payments, and we don't know how much they will spend. So that money could have as well gone for increasing health education.
Let's bring in Aarti Sathe. Aarti, I want to accept, and I did at the beginning of the show, accept the fact that there are some things that we really welcome right now from the government. But as far as the farmers are concerned, as far as the allocation to things like agriculture and irrigation and health are concerned, there seems to be something missing here. There's a disconnect between what the government is telling us and what's actually in the numbers, Aarti.
See, I must first of all start by saying that this is a highly pro-agriculture budget. In fact, if one had the opportunity to hear the Minister of Finance, Mr. Mungantiwar, at the beginning of the budget presentation, I think almost 45 minutes were devoted for the sectoral reforms as far as agriculture is concerned. I have not seen the budget document, but from what I hear, the speech which was given by him and the allocations which have been made, I think every initiative and every step has been taken to boost the farming sector. The investment in the farming sector has been given an increase. At the same time, 50,000 crores will be given for urgent farm loans if required. The Jala Yukta Shivar has been given a big boost. Farm ponds have been given, At the same time, in the Konkan region, where actually agriculture is not at a very high rate, the cashew processing industry has been given an impetus. So I really don't know where is this disconnect that one is really trying to project. Yes, as far as the farmers loan waiver is concerned, the government is working along with the centre, and that's exactly why Mr. Fadnavis went along with certain Sena leaders, Sena ministers to meet him. In fact, no, 1 minute.
No, Aarti, a couple of hands have gone up, so you finish what you're saying and then I'll allow for rebuts. Yes.
For natural calamities. Yeah, so what the point I'm trying to make is that every attempt in today's budget has been made keeping in mind that the farmer is top priority as far as Maharashtra is concerned.
Okay.
And if you see the numbers also, the agriculture, the production in most of the areas has gone up, except in fact sugarcane, which was something which was drying up. There is more irrigation land which is being developed. The Jalyukta Shivar is being developed in a big way.
Let me just bring in rebuts. I have people in the studio, Aarti, who disagree with you right now. Clyde, go ahead.
My point here is, if it was pro-farmers, the first thing that the government should have done was to waive the loans, because what is happening right now is because they are so heavily in debt that they will not get further loans from the banks. They go to the money lenders, like Mr. Sudhir Suryavanshi said, they go to the money lenders. Now they cannot pay the money lenders, therefore these suicides are happening. So the fact is, if it was pro-farmers and if the farmers have to actually prosper, their loans need to be waived off. Only then can they get further loans and to go ahead with their crops. That is what is happening now. The other point was, like Aarti mentioned, was
the loans will be waived off.
Aarti, I didn't talk while you were talking, please. So the other thing was, Aarti said was that they are going to talk, they are trying to talk to the centre to get the thing. But the centre has gone on record to show that right now UP is more on a top priority. The farmers there are on top priority than in Maharashtra. So that's the whole point. And this whole thing, the other point here is, you don't have a Shiv Sena spokesperson here on your panel right now. But the question needs to be asked to the Shiv Sena also, that they made such a hue and cry that we will not
allow the budget to be announced,
to be tabled
at all
today. But what happened? They went to Delhi along with the CM. I don't know what was spoken there, what transpired or conspired there, and they've just backed out and now they've let it happen. So a lot of questions need to be asked, and I don't think this is a pro-farmer budget.
Rajiv Mishra, do you agree that this is a pro-farmer budget? Aarti Sathe basically saying that the first few minutes of the entire budget announcement was dedicated to the farmer. Rajiv Mishra.
फिर मैं आपको एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ, इस बजट में भले ही कुछ अच्छी बातें मौजूद हैं, लेकिन मैं इसको न तो प्रो फार्मर मानता हूँ और न ही मैं प्रो पुअर मानता हूँ. ये दोनों ही चीजों में ये बजट मुझे कहीं ना कहीं फेल्योर दिखाई देता है. देखो, अभी फार्मर्स को सबसे पहले तत्काल राहत की जरूरत है. तत्काल राहत का मतलब है, अगर उनके ऊपर लोन भी है तो कम से इमीडिएट रिलीफ उनको मिलना बहुत जरूरी है. अगर इमीडिएट रिलीफ नहीं मिलता है, आप सिंचाई की व्यवस्था अच्छी करेंगे, आप बाकी सारी चीजों का डेवलपमेंट करेंगे, लेकिन उससे इमीडिएट रिलीफ नहीं मिलेगा. आपको अगर फार्मर सोसाइटी को रोकना है तो उसको इमीडिएट रिलीफ देना है. और इमीडिएट रिलीफ कैसे मिल सकता है? कि कम से कम इनको लोन रहते भर में भी लोन मिल सके. ये प्रोविजन आपने कहीं नहीं किया. आपने जो 50 करोड़ का अर्जेंट लोन का प्रोविजन किया है, अर्जेंट लोन क्या 50 करोड़ से महाराष्ट्र में इतने बड़े पैमाने पर किसान हैं, ये 50 करोड़ से क्या होने वाला है? ये तो आप खुद समझ सकती हैं. तो वैसी स्थिति में उनको जो इमीडिएट रिलीफ है वो नहीं मिल रहा है. दूसरा, मैं इनको प्रो पुअर मैं इसलिए नहीं मान रहा हूं क्योंकि अगर आप देखो तो अर्बन पुअर के लिए भी इस बजट में आपको कुछ दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है. अर्बन पुअर का मतलब होता है एक बहुत बड़ा वर्ग
जो स्लम में रहता
है, और दूसरा जो असंगठित मजदूर हैं. असंगठित मजदूरों के लिए भी इस बजट में बहुत कुछ आपको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है, या कुछ भी हमको तो कुछ भी नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है. तो वैसी स्थिति में इसलिए मैं इसको न तो
और जैसे रवि दुग्गल ने पॉइंट आउट किया था, एजुकेशन एलोकेशन हैज कम डाउन, रूरल डेवलपमेंट एलोकेशन हैज कम डाउन, एग्रीकल्चरल एलोकेशन हैज कम डाउन.
Education has not come down.
Education has not come down.
Education has gone up by 14%. Health has gone down. ICDS has gone down. So two critical
two critical things have indeed gone down. Sudhir, do you believe that the government has been pro-farmer? That this hot potato of, and let's focus on the main issue, the hot potato of farm loan waivers. And I'm still concerned about the fact that at the beginning of the show, Sudhir very clearly said that more farmers will commit suicide. He didn't say may, he didn't say if things continue the way they are. You said will commit suicide.
I stick with that, whatever I said earlier. More farmers will commit suicide because there are reasons why I am saying, because myself I also come from the rural background and farming background. I know how the farming and farmer works out. So I know the basic. Therefore, I am saying the more farmers will commit suicide. As that ma'am said, Sudhir Mungantiwar has spent more time on the farmer issues. I was also present in the assembly. I also saw spending time and spending allocation, two different things.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
He might have spent more time, but he has not spent the money.
Why? But the fact that the government has done everything possible.
I have copy. I was there.
No, not at all.
You may say no.
I don't think so. In fact, we have
speak.
5,000 villages which we are going to make drought free.
The speech.
Where is the money?
The speech and these papers will speak than
we
the
have
anything
more
else.
irrigable land that we are going to bring.
So support what you're saying with the numbers.
Look at the economic survey which has been taken even as of yesterday.
If the farmer does not have the money to grow his crops, what irrigation are you talking about? He has no money. He has no money in hand.
Other states are concerned.
Sudhir, support your argument with the budget. You said you have the numbers. Tell us
but
what
I
the numbers
told you
are.
that for immediate purposes, 50,000 crores has already been allocated.
No,
50,000 crores is not allocated. It comes from banks. And whether the farmers will take those loans, one doesn't know. They're already indebted.
Yes.
So unless you get rid of their debt,
There are
how
many
do you expect them to take advantage of that?
Same time,
50,000 crores is
the
not in the
godown
budget.
capacity has been increased.
Please be clear about
and
that.
also they have been allowed to sell their products in open markets now.
No,
That doesn't make
Okay, Rajiv Mishra.
So clearly, there are
let me also then bring in Charan Singh Sapra.
As far as the farm loan waiver is concerned, we are working with the central ministry and we are also injecting funds.
Okay, so Aarti, can you give us clarity on what plan you're working on with the central government
But
right
we are
now?
also injecting funds into the system.
What plan is the state government working on with the centre right now
Sorry?
as far as farm loan waivers are concerned, Aarti? What are the details of that plan?
Well, the details are as yesterday only the Chief Minister has gone and met Mr. Jaitley. So clearly there is a demand that some allocation may be made as far as these farm loan waivers are concerned to the Maharashtra state. And we will also as a state simultaneously inject certain funds which are available with us. So clearly that is the plan. There is no hiding or there is no secrecy in that plan at all. But to say that just because we have not immediately waived the farm loans, that means, the budget is not pro-farmer, I think it's completely incorrect because the steps which are being taken show that it is a complete agricultural based budget.
All right. Charan Singh Sapra has been listening very patiently up till now.
Everything possible as far as agriculture is concerned.
Charan Singh Sapra, Mr. Sapra, do you agree it's a pro-farmer budget? And this
There are
will
more
actually help the farmers.
Universities.
This will actually help the farmers come out of the debt that they're struggling with.
See, Faye, first of all, I would like to say that I have not interrupted anybody. So please listen to me very carefully. The first issue on which I would like to come upon is the private money lenders issue, which has already been spoken over here. Now this issue stands where it is. In fact, it is going to aggravate. The economic survey itself shows that it has increased from year 2015 to 2016 by 1,254 crores being given on loan by these private money lenders. Now this is going to aggravate. As far as agriculture sector is concerned, now whatever the budget has come today, I don't think so that it is a win-win situation for any farmer, because the major reason for that is that the cultivation area in Maharashtra is reducing year by year. When the cultivation area is reducing, you can't expect a boom in farming sector. In spite of good rainfall, the area of cultivation has reduced in last 1 year from 5 to 7%. Then the area of cultivation for Kharif crop has reduced from say 16 to 24%. Now the reason for all this is the lack of irrigation facilities, high cost of production and the low cost for the produce which the farmers generate. Now as far as government is boasting about Jalyukt Shivar. Now Jalyukt Shivar they are boasting.
Charan Singh Sapra, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. Charan Singh Sapra, forgive me, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second, but I understand that the Chief Minister of Maharashtra is speaking to the press. Let's just hear what he has to say and then I'll come back to you, Charan Singh Sapra.
विपक्षों ने अर्थसंकल्प की कॉपियां जलाकर प्रतियां जलाकर मुझे लगता है कि हारने का गुस्सा उनके मन में कितना है वो जगाकर वो व्यक्त कर रहे हैं। ये गुस्सा मुझे लगता है कि अर्थसंकल्प पे नहीं है, ये सारा गुस्सा किसानों पे और जनता पे अर्थसंकल्प पर जगाकर निकाला है। अब वक्त किसान का होगा, अब वक्त जनता का होगा। जो गुस्सा उन्होंने निकाला है, बैच के साथ जनता चुनाव में अपना गुस्सा निश्चित रूप से निकालेगी। भगवान ऐसे विरोधी पार्टी को सद्बुद्धि दे, यही मैं सिद्धि विनायक से प्रार्थना करता हूं।
Well, that was the Finance Minister of Maharashtra speaking with the press after his announcement of the budget. I'm going to go back to you, Charan Singh Sapra, but he was very vocal there that any sort of criticism from opposition parties like yourself, like the NCP, are just being sore losers, he said. You're just sore about the fact that you lost elections, and that's why you're making a fuss. Respond to that.
See, Faye, the finance minister has nothing else to say because he knows within that he has failed miserably. Now, when we are talking about agricultural sector, when the crop area is reducing, how can you say that the agriculture produce will increase? You know, the economic survey says, these are not my figures, the economic survey says that Maharashtra lags behind Madhya Pradesh, UP, Gujarat and Karnataka as far as the crop area is concerned. Then when you come to the irrigated sector, that the amount of land which is irrigated in 2013-14, it was 32.46 lakh hectares. In 14-15, it was 31.37 lakh hectares. And in 15-16, it was 24.47 lakh hectares.
Actually, you know what? See, let me just crystallize this debate, Charan Singh Sapra. Let me just crystallize this debate a little bit.
If you come
one second, sir.
Fish catching,
one second,
let me complete 30 seconds. Please give me 30 seconds more.
Okay.
30 seconds more, please. Faye, only 30 seconds I am demanding. If you come to the fish catching area, the fish catching has also reduced. The export of fish catch is also reduced. In 14-15, it was 6.08 lakh metric ton. 15-16 it was 5.8 lakh metric tons. In 16-17 it was 4.30 lakh metric tons.
Right, okay,
now,
okay.
Everywhere the agricultural produce is reducing, the land to be irrigated is reducing, then what is the government going in for?
Right. Okay, so let me just crystallize this debate now. Like I pointed out at the beginning of the show, there were several things, targeting women's safety, targeting police reforms, targeting environment that we're very, very pleased about. If we just water this entire conversation down to one thing, and this is what I want to focus on, 9,000 farmers committed suicide in the state of Maharashtra. 3,000 farmers between January and December 2016. That number has gone up 42%. The question we are asking is very simple. What is the government of Maharashtra doing to make sure that not a single, not even one more farming life is lost? Now, we're working on plans is a fantastic, response to us. We're working with the central government. We're working with the union finance minister. All of that is great. In the meantime, can you assure us that not a single farmer who supports an entire family, who works from morning until night to feed the rest of the state, not a single farming life will be lost? That's the question we're asking. And an opportunity like the state budget should have been used to tackle that problem, because it is the most glaring problem in the state of Maharashtra right now. All of the other things are fantastic. I'm glad the government is actively working on plans, but what needs to be done to ensure that no more lives are lost? Aarti Sathe, what will be done right now to ensure to us that we will not read about another farmer suicide, or 2 more, or 3 more, or 1,000 more suicides in the state of Maharashtra?
Clearly, the slew of measures which have been made to make it easy for a farmer in Maharashtra will be, translated into the fact that there will be no more suicides.
Which
there will be some areas where more work will be required. The government is committed to it. And let me tell you that the projection is by 2021 we will double our agricultural produce.
How many farmers will be lose by 2021, Aarti?
To say that in the agriculture sector, I'm sorry?
See, agriculture sector to be a sector of investment and a double productivity of farmers by 2021.
To sell their product.
How many farmers might we lose before now in 2021?
No chance that we will. I am praying and hoping to God that with these slew of measures, there will be no farmer suicides as far as Maharashtra is concerned. And today, the agricultural produce has gone up. In 2015-16, it is 12.5%. In 14-15, it was minus 2.7%. But that is exactly what I'm saying. In fact, we have in this budget.
I just want to ask the Jal Yukti project.
You're not applying the same logic.
What is the status of that?
Now, the irrigable land is going to be increased, and that is what we have said in this budget. More irrigation land. That is exactly why the reason the Jal Yukta Shivar is such a pet project as far as
what is the status? What is the status of the Jal Yukta project?
You cannot interrupt me. I did not interrupt you.
One at a time.
I did not interrupt you, Mr. Sapra.
Sudhir, go ahead.
As I said earlier,
you are interrupting me when I'm talking.
1 second.
I would not like to interrupt. Mr. Sapra, you can't interrupt. You ask for non-interruption. You're not allowing the other spokesperson to speak. That is because you're crying foul with your defeat all over the nation. This is called crying foul.
When you are only talking rhetorics on the channel,
I'm sorry to say this. Digressing from the topic, coming back to the topic,
that your economic service says something
I'm not talking
else,
rhetorics,
and your rhetorics are saying something else.
I'm giving you
Okay, Charan Singh Sapra, Aarti Sathe. Okay, Aarti Sathe, you said, let me just bring in the other voices, madam. Let me just bring in the other voices. Aarti Sathe says that the government's plan will ensure a doubling of farm produce and a doubling of output from farms by 2021. My concern remains the same. My concern remains, and I'll go to Ravi Duggal with this question, and then I'll come to you, Sudhir. How do we ensure that not a single life is lost between now and 2021, assuming that the government's plans are actually fruitful?
Yeah, if the plans have to be actually fruitful, then I think the bottom line is the budget document.
Is there enough
Where is the allocations for realizing all that? So that I don't see. I don't see the numbers. In fact, agriculture, if you look at the budget document, as I mentioned, there's a 5% decline in the budget from the revised estimates of last year. So there's a clear lack of, because this is the political commitment. And if you don't get that political commitment, where will the money come? You don't expect farmers to go to banks to take another debt, right? That will worsen the situation.
So do you believe, Ravi Duggal, do you believe that the suicides will continue? Do you believe that the suicides will continue, Mr. Duggal?
I mean, the suicide is an individual decision, but if this is the kind of scenario and people are facing it on a day-to-day basis, with things getting worse, you're not producing enough. Maharashtra, in fact...
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. Then, like Rajiv Mishra pointed out, do you believe that in this budget, there is an offer to the farmers of Maharashtra of immediate relief from the situation that they're in? Because obviously suicide is a desperate situation and what they need is immediate relief. Is there immediate relief in that green document that you're holding right now?
No.
There isn't?
There is no line item that I see anywhere which reflects that.
Sudhir?
You know, if somebody is in a distress situation, there are two types of relief people generally give. One is long term, and another is immediate relief. Now the 9,000 farmers has been committed suicide. So we believe that whatever the promises the Mr. Devendra Fadnavis has been making, he is working for the sustainable development of agriculture. He is putting a lot of investment in agriculture. So he will ensure that no farmer will commit suicide in the future. But what about the farmer who are committing suicide today? In fact, I will just want to tell you, when the session was going on, 2 days back only, one farmer, while he has written the letter, saying that while he was listening to the Chief Minister's speech, he committed suicide in the Aurangabad, in Marathwada. That is very sad stage if somebody ends his life. So that should not be happen. To end that, what the government has to be done, first of all, they should implement the Swaminathan Commission report, where he promises, he recommends there should be minimum support price for every agricultural product, which is not happening at all. Second, there should be regulation in the market. In the market, if the people goes there, people, the farmer has been exploited by the middleman. Now the people, this government has opened the market, and farmer can sell their product anywhere, wherever they want.
Which is okay. Let me point out, Sudhir, that this government has repeatedly said that they're working on possibilities of farmers getting good prices for their products. That the farmers can approach markets directly. Farmers can approach cities directly.
Absolutely.
What else are we? What else do you expect from the government other than this? What else can be done?
And that's happening.
As an immediate relief, rather than a complete farmer waive off, they should at least waive off the interest. Whatever the loan the farmer has been taken, they should waive off the interest so that the farmer can refresh his loan or take more loan. Otherwise, he will not have that burden of the paying the high interest rate to the government or the money lender.
So you're saying even if you don't waive off the entire loan, at least waive off the interest accumulation right now.
And ensure the good prices should be given to the farmers. That are the two major things has to be done very immediately.
राजीव,
मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि 2-3 चीज़ों की बहुत ज़रूरत है। एक तो फसल बीमा जो है वो उनके एक्चुअल जो कॉस्टिंग होती है उनके फार्मिंग में, उसको लेकर के फसल बीमा को स्ट्रॉन्ग किए जाने की ज़रूरत है कि अगर उनको कभी नुकसान होता है तो कम से कम बैंक का लोन उनका रिकवर हो सके। दूसरा एक इम्पॉर्टेंट बात यह है कि जो इन्होंने अभी बताया कि उनका जो प्रोडक्शन है उसका एक सही कॉस्टिंग उनको मिल सके, जिससे कि उनकी जो मेहनत लगी है और उनका जो खर्च आया है उसका उसमें से कम वसूली हो सके और वो अच्छी लाइफ को जी सके। ये दूसरा इंपॉर्टेंट है। और तीसरा इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि उनको जो लोन की प्रक्रिया है वो थोड़ा इजी बनाए जाने की जरूरत है। एक छोटा सा मैं बात करना चाहूंगा फिर कि
अगर मानना है कि इस ये जो बजट आए which the Maharashtra government has announced, which they are calling pro farmer, they are saying that any criticism is largely sore losers, जो मतलब इलेक्शन हार के अभी और कोई चारा ही नहीं रहा उनके पास। What is your view, Rajiv?
नहीं, एक बात मैं बिल्कुल कहना चाहूंगा कि आरती साठे मैडम के इस बात से मैं बिल्कुल सहमत नहीं हूं, क्योंकि अगर हमारे ही राज्य में हमारे किसान आत्महत्या कर रहे हैं, जो हमको अन्नदाता हम लोग उनको बोलते हैं, अगर वो सुसाइड कर रहा है तो इस पर गंभीर चिंतन करने की जरूरत है। ये कोई पॉलिटिक्स का विषय नहीं होना चाहिए, इस पर गंभीर चिंतन किए जाने की जरूरत है। इसको हम इतना ईजी वे में कह दें कि ये पॉलिटिकल आरोप है या कुछ है। आंकड़े बता रहे हैं कि सुसाइड की संख्या बढ़ी है। अगर आंकड़े बता रहे हैं कि सुसाइड की संख्या बढ़ी है तो इसको तो बहुत ही सीरियसली टेकअप कर, और वो भी वो आदमी जिसके एक एक पसीने की बूंद से हमारा पूरा शरीर पलता है, अगर वो मरता है तो ये बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण सिचुएशन है और इससे निपटे जाने की जरूरत है। ये तो मैं बोलूंगा।
Mr. Ravi Duggal.
Yeah, I would in fact go even further and say I think all the loans to farmers should be completely wiped out. And if you can, if our banks can have non-performing assets, which for these big corporate sector, when you have revenues foregone in huge numbers, which is 5 to 6% of the GDP, I mean, this is a very small thing. So I think I think that is a drastic step.
But Mr. Duggal, farm loan waivers are a populist measure that are saved normally for those states that are going into elections. Maharashtra is not going into an election. Do you believe then it qualifies for such a populist measure?
But you can't wait for the next election. I mean, this is an immediate thing because 9,000 suicides will become 10,000 next year. So who's going to be responsible
and
for
we
that?
We must also remember here, viewers who are in our urban centers, that when a farmer commits suicide, he leaves an entire family behind that need to now figure out how to fend for themselves. So not only have they lost the breadwinner, they have debt that they have to look after. They have farmland that needs to be tended to. And it's very likely young children who are still in school who are likely to have to go step out of school or drop out of school in order to support their families. So these are entire families that we're talking about. This is a very real problem. Aarti Sathe, all of the independent voices on the panel have agreed that this budget does not address the main problem of the state of Maharashtra, which is farmers committing suicides. And this is not either Clyde or Charan Singh Sapra, and I will bring them both in as well. These are non-political voices. What is your response to what all three of them had to say, which is that the issue has been completely bypassed, and what the government is giving us right now is nothing but lip service?
No.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
It is
just lip service.
One second, Mr. Sapra. I'll come back to you. Mr. Sapra, I'll come back to you. Mr. Sapra, I'll come back to you. Aarti Sathe, go ahead.
Mr. Sapra, the question is for me. It's not for you.
Okay.
It's for me. Please.
Aarti Sathe, go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
First of all, I'm also not going to politicize this issue because this is a highly sensitive issue. the government is completely aware of the ground realities. And because the government is aware of the ground realities, we are not giving any sort of lip service. The kind of allocations that have been made in today's budget are not merely lip service. They are proactively trying to do things so that these farmer suicides are obviously on the reduce and actually become nil. We do not want any farmer to die. We do not want his crop to go waste. We are giving every opportunity to the farmer to sell his crop at a competitive price. At the same time, as far as the farm waiver loan issue, I am repeatedly saying that over a period of time, there will be waiver of these loans. We may start first by waiving the interest component and then obviously go to the full waiver. But at the same time, we have other sectors also on which certain allocations have to be made, but our priority remains agriculture. And as a government, we are committed. These are not only hollow statements, but these are projections which even the economic survey has given, the past surveys have given, the present surveys have given, that as far as agriculture is concerned, Maharashtra is going to be one of the leading states. The corollary or the cascading effect will be lack of farmer suicides. I think that and more would be a more
Aarti, you've said,
and
now let me bring in the political voices. Now, again, when you were making your point, every hand in the panel went up, because people disagree with you. You've made these points repeatedly, but the problem with what you're saying is that we do not see the evidence in the budget announcement today that, as the finance minister pointed it out, that the farmer is at the heart and the center of this budget. We don't see it. Clyde Crasto, why do you believe that farmer suicides will not stop because of the efforts of the Maharashtra government?
See, throughout the budget, when he was talking, I mean, like Aarti said, that, in the due course of time, we might just, waive off the interest, or we might just waive off the loans. But nowhere has it just been even mentioned. I mean, he could have made a mention that we will look into it. Even the fact that he could have made a statement that we will look into this, we may waive off the interest, we have to study the parameters. I mean, he could have said something. Nowhere have they mentioned.
No, let me tell you what
one more point I want to make quickly. One more point.
Stay with me. Let me tell you what it says. It says that further, there is no assurance that farmer will be perennially out of the debt trap if we forgive these loans. For this purpose, the state government has sought central assistance. We make it clear that the state will also give its support and cooperation for any effort by the central government to reduce farmers' old debts. No, Clyde, is this not enough?
But that's the whole point. It's so easy to say that we are looking at the center, where the center has already said that right now the priority is UP before Maharashtra. I mean, it's an insensitive statement that they've given already. So the fact of the matter here is also, like Aarti said, that we are giving fair prices and all. If the MSP was right, FRP was right, why are the farmers coming out on the streets and burning the onions, throwing that tomato produce all on the streets? It's because they are not happy. It's what they are saying is rather to destroy our crop.
It's not about how much of a produce they manage in this year. Like Sudhir pointed out, we've had a bumper crop. It's about the price that they're able to guarantee on that produce.
What is the point in having a bumper crop when you're not getting the price for it? Because if they sell it at the right price, then will they able to get the money and buy the seeds for the next crop. It's a cycle. It's a chain reaction. So if by just saying that they're going to do this, it's not going to work. Also, one more thing. Right. I mean, the finance minister very forthrightly and very with a lot of bravado said that by 2011 the farm produce is going to double. When
2021,
the farm,
yes.
Yeah, but 2021 that it's going to double. How can you say it's going to double when the farmer does not have the money to buy the next crop?
I want to ask Sudhir this, and for these farmers who specifically supported the government and stood through the entire demonetization process that happened, which we know affected the farm and the farmers and their ability to sow tremendously, should the government have done more to show that the support is a two-way street?
Absolutely, government should have been done as not only the farmer but waiving of their interest and all these things. But I think government is also thinking very politically. As a Prime Minister has said in the UP, they will waive off their UP farmer loan waive off. Same thing will happen when 2019 will come. That time, during that period, the farmers' loan waive off will be happen. But right now,
there's no political gain in waiving off a loan.
Right now, there is no political gain, and the Chief Minister is no more frame of mind to waive off the farmer loan. Therefore, they are just thinking just pass the issue. Initially, if you see when the budget session was started, Shiv Sena was also adamant, and they said they will not allow to table allow the finance minister to deliver his final budget speech unless the farmer loan waiver has been declared by the government. But they also eat their humble pie and supported the government to table the budget. The chief minister managed to maneuver the situation and successfully table the budget. Now budget has been tabled. Now Shiv Sena is in this entire scenario. Sena is one of the biggest loser. Now the Sena has been lost their credibility. Whatever they have said in the past, now their statement has been completely. They have taken the complete U-turn. So now in future people will not trust and believe in Sena whatever the statement they will make. And as a result, we have seen in the recent local body election. In that election,
that faith is
in the local body election, in the Panchayat Samiti, I will just complete that BJP has managed to get 18 Panchayat Samiti local body block Panchayat, and the NCP has managed to get 68, Congress 51, and the Sena was the fourth. In this entire election, because they are losing their credibility.
You're saying there's an erosion of credibility and faith among the people. Clyde, very quickly.
Very quickly, I want to talk, while we were talking about how lip service and how the government is talking big, while the whole Make in Maharashtra talk was going on, according to the economic survey, 3,018 MOUs were signed, of which only 262 projects have taken off. Of the 8 lakh crore that was promised, only 30,000 crores have come in. So it's just big talks and big lip service that goes on. Nothing actually eventually happens. They show a big picture, but a very small thing happens.
Let me give Charan Singh Sapra uninterrupted time now, because I stopped him twice when he was speaking. Charan Singh Sapra, go ahead, make your point.
See, Faye, one thing I would like to say that on the agriculture sector, the government has failed completely. They have not been able to contain the farmers' suicide, and the farmers' suicides are going to continue because they have not mentioned anything about the minimum support price. What is even if we have this bumper crop and this crop the price is not given to the farmers, what is the use? So they have failed in that sector. Now, one gentleman has spoken about the industrial sector. In industry, he has rightly said that whatever was promised in Make in India was merely a rhetoric, and it's a total flop. And let me tell you that the projects are still the few 3% or 3.8% projects which are taking off are only at the stage of just having land plans or having a land allocation. It is at that stage only. And the amount of employment which was to be generated, more than 35 lakh youths will be employed. I don't think so this is going to happen in coming 20 years also by the BJP. So this is a total flop. Even in industry sector, you see the medium and small scale industry sector, in which in 2015-16, the small scale industry was 36,992. In 16-17, it came down to 20,220. Now this employment potential, which has reduced from 3.5 lakh to 1.66 lakh, it is a situation of concern in the industry sector also. You see the social sector. In the social sector, crime against women, in 2015 it was 13,126. In 2016 it went up to 32,548. Maharashtra is the third highest country after UP and West Bengal. Child infanticide has increased. Kidnapping and abduction of children has increased. In 2015, it was 6,960. In 2016, it is 8,016. Maharashtra has the highest number of crimes against
Let me just take this question to Aarti Sathe. One second.
These are the serious situations.
Right, one second.
The Anganwadis are also not performing.
Right, Aarti Sathe. Would it be unfair to assume that the state will judge the BJP government very harshly in 2019 if farmer suicides were allowed to continue in the manner that they're right now, where the numbers are obviously going up and there is no concrete immediate plan for relief as of today? Is there a fear, or shouldn't there be a fear, that the people in 2019 will judge this government very, very harshly if this situation was not brought under control?
It's really funny to say that, we are just really doing lip service, because if you see pan Maharashtra, or even for that matter now with the recent election results pan India, the people of India or the polity of every state, even states where we did not have power, have reposed confidence and trust as far as we are concerned. So today, if we merely do lip service, like you rightly pointed out, it will actually work in our detriment. So to say that the BJP government, it's a flop show and the Make in Maharashtra, Make in India is a rubbish thing, I think it's absolutely incorrect. Just as he has given figures,
so are you trying to say that economic survey is talking rubbish?
As far as the energy sector are concerned, or the Deen Dayal Upadhyaya,
it is the economic survey report of Maharashtra government. I am not giving my figures.
Mr. Sapra, why do you interrupt when I talk?
Let Aarti respond to your questions. Charan Singh Sapra, let Aarti respond to your questions, please.
I am saying that I am giving you the figures of economic survey of Maharashtra.
You are only fudging the figures. Mr. Sapra, please do not have a destructive oppositionist mentality like the Congress. Please allow me to speak. Mr. Sapra, you are interrupting. You are acting as a destructive opposition. Please act as a constructive opposition. Please act as a constructive opposition. You are a destructive opposition.
The figures are saying that it is only rhetoric by Bharatiya Janata Party.
The party has voted out a destructive oppositionist
you
polity.
Forget about that. That doesn't give you power to say anything.
All that I'm saying is that today, if we only do, you please see the newspapers of today and do not fudge figures to your convenience, because you are a destructive opposition party voted out pan-India.
No figures are fudged. These are the figures of economic survey.
So
which
please
is released
take a
by the
reality
finance
check. You are
ministry by your own minister.
doing what
Sudhir
you do in all the
Mungantiwar has released
houses.
these figures.
You are interrupting
These are not
the treasury
my figures.
benches. Similarly, you are interrupting me
Please
while
don't
talking.
become intolerant.
That is your my figures are
Bharatiya
also
Janata Party
on
has
full
to be
veracity.
little tolerant.
Please,
These
you
are the figures of government of Maharashtra, which is ruled by Bharatiya Janata Party and Devendra Fadnavis.
Mentality. I am also giving you figures of government of Maharashtra.
Okay. All right. Allow me to interrupt the two of you. I apologize to both Aarti Sathe and Charan Singh Sapra. I have other voices. In the panel. 1 second, Clyde. I just want to bring in Mr. Ravi Duggal. Ravi Duggal, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
This whole thing about budgets being linked to political gains. If you don't see political gains, you don't make the allocations. I think I have a problem with that. Because ultimately, the budget document should be one of political commitment.
Gains.
I'll give an example of...
1 second, Mr. Charan Singh Sapra, 1 second, sir.
I want to give an example where there's a lack of political commitment of this government.
Let me give you if you're coming to figures,
last year, if you look at the ICDS program, the malnutrition, we talked about malnutrition that's in Maharashtra. If you look at, there was a 62% cut last year. This year, there's a 33% cut. So where is the political commitment of this government?
Yes, in fact, let's put up, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Duggal, there are 83,000 children in Maharashtra who are malnourished and who run the risk of being underdeveloped or who run the risk of dying because they're not being fed. And we brought this up in the past. And you're saying the allocation being made to feed these children by the government has come down
of 33% this year.
Consecutively over 2 years.
Yeah, so 62% last year, there was a partial rollback in the supplementary grants, and then now there's a 33% again decline. So, I mean, where is the political commitment for dealing with malnutrition? So, this completely, I mean...
the Anganwadis, 46% Anganwadis don't have toilet. 69% Anganwadis are conducted in open. What are they doing in the rain?
And last year, even the partial rollback was because the Anganwadi workers union came
to the streets.
Do we want that happening every year? Why can't there be a consistency in allocation? We know that there are so many Anganwadis, so many children who will be attending those Anganwadis, and why can't we make a cost-based kind of allocation of resources for dealing with that? Why is this up and down that is happening?
फिर जैसा कि दुग्गल साहब ने अभी आपके सामने रखा कि जैसे कुपोषण की बात है या फिर मेडिकल बजट की बात है, जिस तरीके से कमी हो रही है उससे तो ये लगता है कि प्रो फार्मर और प्रो पुअर नहीं है। एक और मैं महत्वपूर्ण बात बताता हूं कि महाराष्ट्र में 12% सिर्फ क्रॉप में वृद्धि हुई है। तो आज स्थिति यह है कि न तो इनके पास गोडाउन है और न ये मिनिमम प्राइस दे पा रहे हैं किसानों को। ऐसी स्थिति में कैसे हम माने कि गवर्नमेंट का जो प्रयास है वो किसानों के प्रो है। अभी आप देखो, जिस तूरदार को हम लोगों ने 200 रुपए केजी खरीदा है, आज वो जब किसानों के यहां पैदावार हुई है तो उसकी रेट घट करके 3500 रुपए क्विंटल और 4000 रुपए क्विंटल हो गई है। तो ऐसे में किसानों के पास आखिर उपाय क्या है? क्रॉप्स ना हो तो भी उनको नुकसान होता है, हो तो भी नुकसान होता है। आखिर इसके लिए कोई कोई एक सिस्टमैटिक प्लान बनेगा कि नहीं बनेगा? हम किसानों के ऊपर कुछ एक सिस्टम से सोचेंगे कि नहीं सोचेंगे? ये तो निश्चित तौर पे इनको सोचना चाहिए यार। 2.5 साल इनकी गवर्नमेंट हो गई, तीसरा बजट ये पेश कर रहे हैं, अभी तक किसानों के लिए कोई सिस्टम प्लान आप नहीं बना सके और आप कहते हैं कि आप प्रो फार्मर हो। ये तो मानने वाली बात नहीं है।
Clyde?
I have a point to make here. I mean, we are talking about 2021 and we are talking about being pro-farmer.
बनाएंगे 2019 में जब फिर से चुनाव आएंगे।
Sapra ji, I just want to make a point here.
Very quickly. I'm running out of time. I have a minute to go.
My point here is we are talking about 2021 and we are talking about being pro-farmer. Let's talk about something as recent as a few days back when there was unseasonal rain and there was hail, that destroyed all the crops of the farmers. Now, nowhere in the budget there's any talk about any compensation to those farmers or how to save these farmers from the loss they've just suffered. So if you're pro-farmers, let's start from as close as a few days back when all this happened and the crops were destroyed. I mean, you can't just keep talking and then say we are going to do this in 2021 and we are pro-farmer. You have to actually walk the talk and show some action right now.
Sudhir Suryavanshi, here are the problems. There are 83,000 children in our state who are dying because they're not being fed. There are farmers who are killing themselves.
Burning.
Yes.
They are burning their crops. One hand, we are burning their crops.
On one hand, crops are being burnt. On another hand, the crops are being dumped on the street. Farmers are killing themselves because they are not able to pay their loans and support their families, and children are dying because of the lack of food. We do not have, and there is no doubt about this, we do not have the time to wait till 2021, Mr. Finance Minister of Maharashtra and Mr. Chief Minister of Maharashtra. We need an immediate solution. And we need to hear these immediate solutions from the government. We need to hear that you're serious. The UP election is done. It's over. That election period is over. Congratulations on your victory. Let's now get back to work in Maharashtra and actually deliver to the people of Maharashtra who voted you in 2014. They deserve your attention and they deserve that you make these changes immediately. So I believe that the government, that the people of Maharashtra will judge this government very harshly. This government and the Shiv Sena very harshly if more is not done in an immediate basis to save our farmers and our children. Sudhir?
You see, agriculture is our backbone. If you see the economic survey and the budget speech also, 50% of the people in Maharashtra depend upon the agriculture. If we are not looking up, upon the 50% there, we are not taking their care, we are not addressing their issues. And people are saying in 2019 they may we have the farmer loan.
Okay.
In between, if the farmer commits suicide, who will be responsible?
Right. Let me just put this out when I wrap up the show through the government of Maharashtra that we're going to be tracking this very closely. We cannot afford another death, not one. These are not statistics that we can just put on an Excel sheet. These are people. We cannot afford another suicide, another child to die of malnourishment. And we're going to keep a close eye on it, and we're going to constantly bring up these problems until you offer us as solutions as the government of the day, which is your job. Thanks for watching.